So as we pick up today, just to recap a little bit, we kind of met my family. We got a little back history on how life started for me and what it was like to live in that house. Right? And today, I just kind of want to dive right into the magic. I remember my mother giving me a bath. We were in a tiny bathroom, Mom on her knees beside the chipped porcelain tub. I remember the awkwardness of the moment. It wasn't customary to be touched much. There were about 2 or 3 inches of water in the tub. We wouldn't want to be wasteful. I tilt back as she pours the water over my head to rinse out the shampoo. The water filters down over my face. Her hands feel foreign as they skim my body. I'm pretty young. Mom wanted out of these sorts of interactions as early as possible. I lie back saying, I wish I could slide down the drain with the water. I had no desire to die, just not to be here in this place, in this body. I just wanted to be able to be free and go back to where I came from, the place before here, before this body, before these people. Mom's response was immediate. Don't you ever say anything like that again. I just look at her. Lying there, I get very still, very quiet, and she pulls the stopper and the water begins to drain. I shut my eyes. I can feel myself being released from the confines of my body in this place they call my home. And as the water begins to twist around the drain, I can feel myself being pulled with the flow. I have the feeling of being afraid and peaceful all at the same time. I notice the buildup of minerals on the pipes around me as I'm carried along swiftly with the current, up and down, twisting and turning until things began to slow down a little bit. And then suddenly, as if being poured from a faucet, I'm on solid ground in a puddle. Standing, I shake myself off and I look around, and I'm a bit disoriented from the ride. The sun is shining brightly above the meadow I find myself deposited in, and high above the grasses are flowers of all colors. Now I see a path that runs along its edge. It doesn't look too different from home, yet it feels different though. Or is it me who feels different? I must be dreaming. No, wait. I wasn't sleeping. I was getting a bath. I look myself over thinking, am I going to be able to get back? Maybe I won't want to get back, I say out loud. I have the need to hear my voice. Now, a good way up the path, I notice some movement. Now, my first instinct is to run and hide, but running isn't smart. I know that much. Whatever it is could cover the distance and in the time it's going to take for me to turn around. It looks like a cat, a really big cat. Slowly, I make my way into the grasses and I crouch down low amidst the wildflowers. If it catches wind of me, that's it. That'll be it. Now, it's coming right this way. In only seconds, it's close enough for me to touch. I sit, not moving a muscle, trying hard not to even breathe. He's standing there in all of his grandeur, with long, lean muscles, blue-black coat, and those eyes, the most mesmerizing yellowish-green eyes you can imagine. Our eyes meet, and there I am, face to face with a ginormous black panther. His eyes, captivating and kind, are eyes that have experienced much and know what it takes to survive. It's okay, June, he says. I'm not going to hurt you. What? I have to be dreaming. I need to wake up now. Why can't I wake up? He's talking out loud, not in my head like back home. His voice has a velvety quality to it, the kind that makes you want to melt and instantly puts you at ease or spurs action, depending on how he chooses to use it. And pulling from my toes, I gather every ounce of courage I can muster, and I push myself to my feet. I adjust my strong face into place. It's okay, June, he says again. Where am I? You're safe here, he says, June. But where am I? You're going to know soon enough, he replies. As I look around, I see there's no one else in sight. I have no choices but to trust him. How do you know my name? I've always known you. We've spent many lives together. We have had many adventures and have fought great battles for the teacher. It's time for another. Wait. Fought great battles? I don't remember any battles. And who's the teacher? My mind's searching for answers. You'll remember when it's time, he says with a finality that tells me that this part of the conversation is over. Well, what about the teacher? I'm thinking he might know where I am and how I got here. He might even know how to get back if I want to go back. Grandma's going to be worried about me. Mom might be relieved, though. It would be easier there without me. You will know when it's time, is all he says. And after a moment or two of silence, I ask, what's your name? Tigwa. Tigwa? That's cool. What does it mean? I was named after an Indian tribe that lives across the river, he says. Really? There are Indians here? I love stories about the Indians. I forget for a minute that I'm afraid. Will I get to meet one? A real Indian, I mean? All in due time, June, all in due time. Under his breath, through a low chuckle, he mutters, some things never change. What does he mean by that? But I decide I should probably keep that question to myself. I need to take you to the teacher, and we don't have much time. Follow me. What do you mean, not much time? I join him on the path. I'm not sure I want to go back. Enough questions for now, June. The teacher will have all the answers you need. And with that, we fall into a silence. As I begin to look around, I begin to take note of my surroundings, just in case I need to find my way back by myself. Now, the path runs along a meadow for a while, and on the left is a boulder that looks like it has steps going up one side. Well, that'll be easy to remember. And the meadow eventually fades into a grove of trees. Okay, got that. And to the right is a field of lush grasses that go on as far as I can see. And I hear the familiar sound of running water. Or is it draining water? Now he comes to a stop under a grand old tree laden with limbs that are bending to the ground under their own weight. I love trees almost as much as I love animals, so he tells me to wait here for the teacher. He turns back gracefully in the direction we have just come. Wait, wait, I call after him. I feel a little panic begin to creep in. Don't just leave me here. What if he doesn't come? As he looks back over his shoulder, Tigwa says with a smile, he called you here, June. He will come. I watch anxiously as he disappears from view. Turning back towards the tree, I'm startled to see a man approaching. His long white robes flow with his stride. There's nothing to do but wait, I suppose. And as he nears, I can see that he has a very kind face. He has a beautiful, peaceful glow about him and some sort of familiarity that I can't quite place. It's as if I've always known him. And I begin to relax, and his peace seeming to calm me almost instantly. Where am I? You came here through the water, June. It's the water of life. This is a place where you can come to rest, a place where no one will harm you. Here, you're protected always. Tigwa will walk beside you in this world and in the other. Oh no, I'm not going back there, I tell him firmly. You must. You have things to do, things to learn, things to remember. I don't belong there. Those aren't my people. They can't be. Nothing makes sense there. You're there to set things in motion. Sometimes life has to blow apart to allow for change. The women in your lineage have suffered greatly at the hands of man. You have to stop it. Only you can. But I'm just a little girl. What can I do? He's so much bigger than me, and he hurts me. I know. You have to understand the pain of all who came before you. In experiencing, you will know, and you'll gain the courage to stop it for all, giving peace to those who have come before you and freedom to those who come after. With each experience comes a tool of truth to add to your medicine pouch. Medicine pouch? Yes, you're gathering tools for life and how to live it. And in time, your pouch will grow full with wisdom and truth. I can feel my eyes getting heavier with each word. Wait, what is happening? And the scene is fading. As I open my eyes, I'm back in the tiny, dark, oppressive bathroom with the woman who claims to be my mother. She's urging me to get out of the tub and dry off. How can this be? It's as if no time has passed. She doesn't even know I was gone. I take a look around the room and I see the lonely light bulb hanging from the ceiling, the cold water knob still missing from the sink, the rusty pliers laying on the counter, the chipped, broken tiles. Yes, I'm back. Home. Home. I feel myself rise up to climb from the tub. Was I just dreaming? What was that? It felt so real somehow. I feel a little stronger, even if it was a dream. But in dreams, you don't feel, do you? And I can still feel his glow, Tiglet's soft, sleek coat between my fingers. The fear I felt well up at the first sight of him. I can feel the sun on my skin and the smell of the flowers. But I'm brought back to reality with Mom telling me to get ready for bed as she finishes drying me off. I climb into my pajamas quickly and scurry off to bed in hopes of continuing my dream. As I drift off to sleep, I can hear the customary fighting. I try to tune it out, but as always, it's about me. They're always fighting about me. Now, we did have some fun times, especially in the beginning. Dad worked the midnight shift at Chrysler. So by 3 in the afternoon, he was leaving for work. So when school was in session, that meant he was already gone when we got off the bus. So we only saw him on the weekends. And during the summer, we tried really hard to avoid him. Mom had a lighter air about her then, too. We were all able to let down a little bit through the week. And Mom and I, we were a team then. On the weekends, when things got ugly, it would be me and Mom against him. I'm not sure when or what changed that. What made her fade from view? Well, Mom's only sister, Carol, had 2 little boys. And the boys are all within a few years of each other, right? And they got along great, which was nice for everybody. We had lots of adventures, and sometimes I was allowed to bring a friend, a people friend, being the only girl. And we couldn't spend any money because then Dad would know. And Mom's motto was, the more kids, the better. kids could play and the grown-ups could visit. And sometimes Grandma would join with us and whatever kids she had living with her at the time. Now, when Grandma was around, I would have to be forced to go play. I was Grandma's shadow. We'd all meet in the park for a picnic, and we'd be play and swim, or we'd gather walnuts from the huge grove for winter baking. Grandma's contribution was always a giant watermelon for dessert, one of the great big long ones. And she would hand us slices as big as our head, our eyes twinkling, knowing we were going to be swimming in the sticky juices. She would laugh. No worries. The park has a wonderful creek that flows right through the center. So easy cleanup. The grown-ups loved to fish and catch crawdads, and they could get the boys to play along sometimes. And I didn't like the idea of catching either, so I always found something else to do. Now, on crawdad days, the women would spend hours slowly lifting up the rocks, and they crouched in aim with their forks, right? And they would stab these creepy looking little creatures and deposit them into their bucket. It made me sick to my stomach. After filling the bucket to their satisfaction, we would hurry up to Grandma's and they would cook them up. And the women chattered while doing what they do. Me? Really not sure. I couldn't be talked into participating. I preferred a nice spot on the porch, swinging, listening to the commotion, from water to bucket to mouth. I stayed out of it. Always having a book tucked in my bag, I would be found curled up on the porch, lost in my latest adventure when all was said and done. And our movie nights at the drive-in were always lots of fun. Mom would load as many kids in her old station wagon as would fit, along with a cooler of fried chicken or sandwiches, off-brand sodas. We would pop our own popcorn, set up lawn chairs next to another car full. Everyone knew everyone. The drive-in even had a playground, and we were always there plenty early so we could have dinner and play for a while before the movie started. Friends would congregate around one car or another, and kids, then we'd run in all directions. It was safe and it was fun for everyone, right? Now, some evenings we would sneakily curl up in front of the television to watch Tom Jones, hoping we wouldn't get caught. We weren't allowed if Dad was home. He didn't like the way Mom looked at him, and he thought Tom was vulgar. And the rest of the world must have agreed, because before long, you could only see Tom from the waist up. Now that took all the fun out of it. Because we had so much fun watching him dance. Now we would clean the house to Elvis music just blaring. And we'd stop on Mom's favorite songs. She'd grab my hand and give me a spin. The big linoleum living room floor was perfect for twirling, right? And she had me jitterbugging as soon as I could walk. Mom loved to dance. It was as if she became the music. Music was her way of losing herself, losing this place. And when I was a little girl, I had lots of fantasies about Elvis. What if I could have a dad like Elvis? I would dream about him tucking me in at night while singing to me softly, lulling me off to sleep. I was sure he would never hit me, ever. And for sure, never the other things. Sometimes, when Dad was being ugly, I would tell him, I wish I was Elvis's little girl. He would love me. I know he would. I would dream of him storming into the house to take me away. There has to have been a mistake. You aren't supposed to be here. Come with me. We'd leave the house and my arms wrapped around his neck. He'd hold me tight. Looking behind, I can see Dad standing at the door yelling, go ahead, take her. It won't take long and you'll see. You'll be begging me to take her back. When the weekends came, everyone walked on eggshells. never knowing what would set off the inevitable explosion. Mom stood by me then. It was us against him. She would fly in to rescue me and grab me up tight as he ranted and raved, throwing things, breaking things. That is if she got there in time. If I was already in his grip, she jumped in. Not sure why or when that shifted. Soon, I'd be left on my own in the battles. Where'd she go? I'm not sure when Dad started slipping into my room. My memories are like Swiss cheese. I remember him sitting on the side of my bed, kissing his tongue, standing at the edge of my bed, lurking around the bathroom. One bad thing about going to the other place is that I'm not here for things that are happening in my real life. On one hand, that's a great thing. The bad part is knowing that something is happening, but only having the snapshots. How can I ever tell anyone with only fragments? I'm left only with the feelings of terror. What I remember, I watched from above. When I don't want to watch anymore, I go on to the other place. Tig was always waiting. Sometimes Grandma's there. I remember the first time I saw her. Tigwa is waiting for me in the meadow, and we began meandering down the trail towards my beloved tree. I always get to see the teacher at the tree. I'm running around the meadow, picking flowers to bring to him, and as I look up, I see a woman on the path up ahead. She's dressed in long white robes with a long red scarf draped from her head to the ground. She's waiting patiently for us to approach. I look her over very closely as I stand before her. She feels familiar somehow, but not her face. She feels comfortable, as if I've always known her. Her gaze is soft and full of love. And as I'm looking into her eyes, just getting close to the realization, the woman pulls me in close. Junebug! Grandma! No wonder she feels so familiar. No one calls me Junebug but Grandma, even here. My mind's popping with lots and lots of questions. Why are you here, Grandma? Why do you look so different? All people have many faces and have lived many different lives. Our bodies are kind of like a costume for a play. When the time comes for the next play, you have to put on a different costume. Do you understand? I nod my head yes. Now I've called you here today, June, so we can talk. So we can talk about the things that aren't talked about. He hurts me, Grandma. Taking me by the hand, she guides me to a nice soft spot in the meadow. We settle in amidst the flowers. Tigwa's purr is soothing as he curls in beside me. He slips into my room at night and makes me do some not very nice things. Tigwa's menacing roar ricochets through the trees, and the woman gently puts her arm around me and pulls me in closer, and the embrace feels warm and comforting. I know things that feel ugly are happening to you back home, and I know it doesn't feel fair, and I'm so sorry. Life is just one big school, and all these things that you're learning right now are going to give you the capacity to help people understand. Because with your experience of the pain, you'll be joining the army to raise the bar, raising the bar for all children. You're going to help change things, Junebug. I have no idea what she's talking about. All I know is that I'm made to do some really nasty things and I don't like it one bit. So I sit in silence. She pulls June around to face her. I love you, June. A tear leaks out of June's left eye. How can I change anything? I'm just a little girl. As she brushes away the tear, Grandma says, you won't always be a little girl. Someday you'll be all grown up with girls of your own. As she brushes away the tear, Grandma says, you won't always be a little girl. Someday you'll be all grown up with girls of your own. And you're gonna know. They will be the first ones from our line to be free. You will know how to keep them safe. You're gonna have enough tools to teach them to be strong women. Someday you can use your knowledge to help others see. To see the web of pain that their mindless acts are leaving behind. Because you will remember, your children will be safe. From here, the karma will be broken and our lineage will be free. Made me uncomfortable somehow to leave my other part stuck down in the crazy down there. And the constant nagging of the missing memories. It's as if the woman can read my thoughts. The missing pictures are not important to you now, June. You have the memories. They're just in your knowing. The pictures you have now are enough. In time, they will become complete when you're ready. I seem to leave before things get too ugly. I can remember for a while until I leave the room to come here. Then I can't remember anything until after I get back. I know, Grandma said as she strokes my hair. You don't worry about that now. When you need the pictures and they are of use to you, they will come. Now they will only complicate things. Take what God has given you. She spread her arms wide, gesturing to the length of the meadow. So run, play, be free, without worry. You have plenty of time for worry at home. I want you to know that we can always talk from this place, June, even down there. We can talk without words. I always know, Junebug, and I always care. You have a lot of people on this side looking out for you. We won't allow anything to harm who you are. But he is, though, Grandma. No, he's not. He can only affect you down there in that world. Down there is only for learning. Down there is the game. No game's worth playing without challenges, right? Without the challenges, we would get bored and quit. This game is about playing full out. And you are doing that. You are learning so many things about strength and character. Lots of tools and truths are going into your medicine pouch, which means that there are a lot of things that you're going to be able to affect. He's not winning. And we aren't going to let him. You are a warrior of many battles, with more yet to come. Never a victim, June. Warriors are never victims. They choose to fight. And with that, I was back in my bed with Dad padding out of the room. Now you know you can pick up your copy of Junebug at CherieDoyen.com, books, direct link to Amazon, or you can go to Amazon, right? Junebug, Cherie Doyen, there she is. Have your copy and you can follow along here. This beautiful story of survival and fight and magic and salvation.